Hello, this is Nick Becerra with Adrian and Jarrin. Our Chief Justice is John Jay, and our court case is U.S. vs. Nixon. John Jay was born on December 12, 1745, in New York City. He is most famous for becoming the first Chief Justice in U.S. history. He grew up in a very wealthy and privileged family. He attended an exclusive boarding school in New Rochelle, New York. He is very smart as he graduated with highest honors and was admitted to Bar of New York in 1768. Coincidentally, the first Chief Justice of the U.S. was appointed by the first President of the U.S., George Washington. Some of the famous cases John Jay oversaw were mainly economic disputes such as Chisholm versus Georgia. This was the first United States Supreme Court case of significance and impact. 1793, in South Carolina, Alexander Chisholm, the executor of the estate of Robert Farquhar, attempted to sue the state of Georgia in the Supreme Court over payment due to him for goods that Farquhar had supplied Georgia during the Revolutionary War. After he retired as Chief Justice, Jay never really left the politics scene, as he became the second governor of his home state of New York. He also tried to run for president, which failed miserably, as he wasn't anywhere near winning the election. Also appointed Minister of Spain to help seek recognition of the United States as a truly independent country. John Jay also signed the peace treaty with Great Britain to keep good relations with them. In his later life, Jefferson asked John Jay to return to the Supreme Court, but he declined the offer and retired. He later died of a stroke on May 17, 1829, and was survived by his wife. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today on 3600 Seconds, we have a special guest, President Richard Nixon. He's here to discuss what's going down on his trial against the United States.
Well, just thank you for having me here. I'm just glad I have a fair and honest interview, so I can get things straightened out.
Great, Mr. President. Let's get started. Tell us what exactly is this case about.
Well, the thing is, I'm being accused of having associates break into the Watergate Hotel to sabotage political opponents. I am also told that they found recording tapes in the Oval Office and that I have to turn them in, but because of my executive privilege, I will do none of the sort.
So, you're standing by the position that you've done absolutely nothing wrong. Is that correct?
Yes. I firmly believe that in my statement, I stand by it, and I firmly believe that I have done nothing wrong and that my executive privilege justifies anything that has happened so far.
So, Mr. President, when did your case take hold and when did it end?
Well, the first hearing began on July 8th, 1974, and the final verdict that was given, which I totally disagree with, was given on July 24th, 1974.
So, Mr. President, please tell us why exactly did your case go to the Supreme Court?
Well, the reason I went to the Supreme Court was because I'm the president, so this is a very high matter. And as I stated that my executive privilege was enough to cover it up, the Supreme Court said otherwise. And it said that my executive privilege was unuseful and that it may hide the necessary evidence in a criminal proceeding.
So, what was the decision by the Chief Justice Warren E. Burger?
Well, the ruling that Burger gave was that I had to surrender the tapes, that my usage of executive privilege was unlawful due to the Sixth Amendment saying that I must be confronted with the witnesses brought against me.
Do you feel that you've disgraced your nation, this beautiful nation, the United States of America?
Absolutely not, because I feel like I've done a great job as president, and the fact that I had those guys break in truly doesn't mean anything.
So, you did do it?
Nah, bro, I think you're hearing things now.
You guys got that, right?
Yeah, man, we totally got that on tape.
Well, okay, Mr. President. I guess the question is now, what are you going to do? The whole country wants to know. What will Richard Nixon do now that he's lost his case against the United States? Decision time, Mr. President. What are you going to do?
Oh man, this is a really tough decision. I've been thinking about it long and hard, but after careful consideration and countless prayers, I've decided that I'll take my resignation to South Beach and watch LeBron James choke in 2 NBA finals that he easily could have won on his own.
As you can see in this photo, America didn't take this decision too lightly, just like Cleveland didn't take LeBron's decision too lightly. After Nixon resigned, people were wondering if he would be charged, but new President Gerald Ford decided to pardon Nixon of all crimes, which was very, very controversial.